Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen we're making an easy caramel sauce with just 5 ingredients. So let's get started. This recipe mixes together in one pan with just a few ingredients. All you need to do is avoid some pitfalls. First up, measure out 1.5 cups of sugar, that's 300 grams. Now we're gonna add our sugar to a medium heavy-bodied saucepan. Listen to this. That pan is thick and heavy. You want something that'll really conduct heat evenly. If you've ever had caramel crystallize or fall apart or burn, your pan is probably at fault. You're an innocent bystander. We're gonna place our pan over medium-high heat, and we're gonna stir for 3 to 5 minutes constantly until it's melted and coming to a boil. In recipes, sugar is actually considered a liquid, and it's because it melts when you heat it. All right. So onto things that can mess you up. One, you're using a light, thin-sided pan. That's not gonna help you out. But two, if you're using a non-stick pan, most recipes don't tell you, but non-stick will just crystallize your caramel. I'm not exactly sure why, but I know you should not use a non-stick pan. Actually, I don't use non-stick pans myself, but on Great British Bake Off, they make them use non-stick pans, and I'm like, why? They have a lot of crystallizing problems. Normally, if you're making a pure caramel of just sugar with water, you're told, leave it alone. Do not touch the sugar. This is different. There's no water here right now, and we're gonna be adding cream. While you have a chance, measure out 1 cup of heavy cream and warm it up. If you use ice cold cream for this, it's basically gonna explode. It'll whoosh. It happened in my last video because I wasn't paying attention. And don't let that happen to you. Warm your cream up so it's room temperature to a little bit warm, and you won't have things bubbling over and burning you. You'll be stirring and stirring and stirring at home thinking, is something wrong? Am I supposed to add water to this? It's not melting. Nothing's gonna happen, and then everything happens and you're like, if you left it alone, it's burnt already and you have to start over. So just have faith, keep stirring, and it'll all melt up. Okay, look, it's starting to melt, so I'm gonna keep stirring. And while I do that, let me tell you about the uses. This is so good for dipping apples in, for pouring over ice cream sundaes, for eating by the spoonful, decorating cakes with, filling cupcakes with, the works. You can use it for so many things. I love the depth of flavor that you can get from just plain old sugar. We're gonna use some salt in here so we have a nice salted caramel vibe, but the sugar will be caramelizing, and you can control how much that happens. Some people love a really dark, almost bitter caramel. Like, I personally love bitter things. So if I was making caramel just for myself, it would be really on the dark side. If that's not your vibe, go for a light, very blonde caramel. All of these will have wonderful complex notes of sugar, but you'll just be surprised by how much the flavor can change based on how you cook it. Okay. Starting to look like wet sand, and the bottom is very melty, so keep on stirring. This is great to do on a cold day, by the way, when you're like, making caramel, my hands are so warm. Look at that, it's almost all melted. Don't touch it, it's hotter than fire. If you see some sugar accumulating on the side of your pan, you can use a wet pastry brush and just brush it down. This will prevent burnt sugar and crystallization. Crystallization is where, instead of having a beautiful, like, watery flow of molten sugar, it has a crystal structure that's kind of crunchy. Not good. All right. My sugar is mostly melted, and at this stage, it should be a light brown color, like pale blonde. If it's going super dark, that means you're gonna burn your sugar, which happens to all of us. If you like burnt sugar, keep going. If not, start over again. If you're using a propane burner, you're gonna wanna go on medium or even medium low. It's just hotter. Same for electric, and if you have induction, it'll be just right. Okay, my sugar's melted, it's coming to a boil, and right now I'm gonna let it run for about 1 minute without mixing it. Maybe just a swirl here or there, as well as a little bit of water just to wet the sides and brush it down. Okay. Let that darken, and now we're gonna take it off heat immediately as soon as the color comes in. time to add 5 tablespoons of room temperature butter right in. And stir, stir, stir until the butter is totally melted. Ooh, beautiful. There will be some water sputtering here or there. If you want less water sputtering, use a European style butter, which has more fat and less water. Also, if things separate at this point, don't worry. You can stir, 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 and the cream will bring things together. Sometimes you see like a layer of butter on top and a layer of caramel on the bottom. That's okay. There we go. My butter just melted. Now I'm adding 1 cup of heavy cream, and it's either room temperature or warm. If it's ice cold, things might explode. Okay. And I'm using a wooden spoon, but really best practice is a whisk. All right. Everything's combined. I'm gonna return this to medium heat and continuing to boil for about 1 minute or until it reaches 220 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the softball stage. Just take a spoonful, drop it into your cold water, and you can see it forms these little like soft balls of sugar. They don't dissolve away, and in my fingers, it is like a perfect caramel sauce. Ah, how nice. This is my favorite thermometer. It's called a Javelin. It tells you instantly and very accurately how hot things are. We're at 215, 217, 220. Good. Heat off. That easy. Now we're gonna add in half a teaspoon of salt. Add in at least half a teaspoon of salt for contrast. Plain caramel without any salt, it's not good. You need the salt. And stir that in. This is gonna give you that wonderful contrast that really helps you taste the caramel so it's not just a dull, sweet flavor. Allow your caramel to cool in the pot for a few minutes. Do not put your fingers anywhere near this. And then we're gonna transfer to a heat-proof bowl and let it cool to room temperature before using. You can make your caramel well in advance, keep it in an airtight container, and it'll be good in the refrigerator for up to a month. This batch is destined for my caramel cake, but first, a spoonful to taste. It's a symphony of complex flavor notes just from a little bit of sugar and a dash of salt. I hope you get a chance to make this recipe, and if you like this video, check out my Easy Treats playlist.